What's up guys, it's MegaDPAL here and I'm bringing you a Black 2 White 2 OU battle. Today's opponent against a guy called Xenexic. I do believe that's how you pronounce his name. He has a YouTube channel, so the link will be in the description bar below, so go check him out. So yeah, he's been talking to me on Skype and he asked me for a battle. I'm like, well, I do have a team I want to test out, so sure. And we actually had a real fun, close, very entertaining, very nice battle indeed. I made a few good plays here and there, made a lot of bad plays here and there as well. He made a few good plays and a few bad plays, so should be real fun. Looking at his team, he's got a sand team going off with the main threat. That, choice band Stoutland, it's going to be a huge threat. He's got the Uniclus, again it's going to be a bother. And he's got the Xenexic, which is just standard Xenexic these days. A lot of people seem to lead off with him. He's got the probably the bulky Rotom Wash, and I'm not too sure at the start what that Garchomp was going to be, but you know, I have enough counters to that, so I'm not really threatened by that. So I am just going to, in fact, lead off with my Heatran in this battle, because I did predict him to lead out with the Xenexic, because Xenexic is a very reliable lead these days, and but it cannot touch my Heatran whatsoever. So that's what I thought it would lead out with, but he leads out with his Spouton just to get up his sand. Not a bad play, but here I make a real good play right off the bat. I'm going to predict him to predict me to switch. So I'm going to predict him to settle the Stealth Rocks, so I'm just going to settle my own rocks on the first turn. So that's very nice for me, just going to swap over rocks. Him going for Stealth Rocks on the first turn is not a bad play, because obvious Earthquake would have been obvious, but I knew he'd expect that. So this next turn I do know he's going to go for that obvious Earthquake, so I'm going to switch out into my Ferrophone, because it's the best thing I really have on my team to take an Earthquake. So yeah, here I do make a lot of bad plays in this battle. Like I said, I just make a really bad play here. I go for the Leech Seed. I should have gone for the Thunder Wave, as he switched into this Uniclus, which is going to be a bother. So I should have gone for the T-Wave, because you know, chance Power Hacks this thing. It would be really nice. And obviously the Leech Seed's not going to do nothing to this thing. He does actually have the Flame Orbs, which is kind of weird. I guess it's alright in the sense that if it can predict Toxics, Will-O-Wisps and Sleep Powders, I guess that's not too bad. I'm just going to switch out into my Genesect, predicting him to go for the Calm Mind, and because my Ferrophone can't touch this thing. Here, the switch into Genesect was actually a really bad play. Well, not a real bad play. It was an okay play, but I should have just gone into my Heatran on the predicted Calm Mind, because I know that I can take a +1 Focus Blast from the Uniclus. It's a 2-hit KO on the Heatran, so I could just roar this thing away. I just go for the U-turn, really just to scout out how much U-turn would do to this thing, so I can know for later on in the battle. So I'm going to U-turn out into my Heatran as he decides to keep setting up Calm Minds. It's his second now, I do believe. And the reason why the U-turn play wasn't really that good is because this thing does carry Recover, which we're just going to find out in a minute. Yeah, we're going to go for that Recover, which I guess isn't all too bad. I'd rather not take a Focus Blast this early on. And I'm just going to roll this thing away, so a stat boost was useless. Just going to get rolled out into the Hippowdon. Here, I'm pretty sure he's going to make a double switch, predicting my switch into Ferrophone, which is what I do go for, because it's what I did earlier, and kind of showing the best thing after this Earthquake is my Ferrophone, so he knows that. I'm just going to switch out into the Ferrophone, like I said, as he double switches, so I'm kind of learning the skill level of this player. Seems to be a pretty good player, so something I must keep in mind as it goes into his Garchomp. Kind of maybe a Uniclus would be better, because to set up and etc, but it probably just doesn't want to get rolled out by Heatran again. But that's whatever. It goes into his Garchomp. Here I see the leftovers, so I know he's probably going to be like either the sub Swords Dance Garchomp, so I'm going to go into my Big Mammal, my Mousewine, knowing he's full well he's going to set up Substitute or a Swords Dance, but a Substitute would be a lot better play, which is what he does go for. And I know that these things probably not going to carry the Outrage, because don't want to get locked into that and they get the chance of confusion, etc. So I'm pretty sure this moveset's going to be the Dragon Dance, Sub, EQ and the Dragon Claw. So I know I can take either one Dragon Claw or one Earthquake from this thing. So I'm just going to go for that Eye Shot. I'll break his Sub as it goes to that Earthquake, like I said, and I can live it. But that's really good for me. The momentum of this game is still in his favour, but here I don't know why I keep doing this. I keep making a lot of bad plays. The obvious switch into Rotom Wash is obvious, because he's not going to want to take an Ice Shard on the Garchomp. But I seem to just play it safe all the time. I don't know why, because I think it's because one time when I'm not going to play it safe, I know I'm going to get screwed over, but that's whatever. I just go for Ice Shard on the road to wash. Like I said, the momentum of this game is in his favour. He's making some real nice plays, some good double switches here. So I kind of need to sack something in order to get switch initiative and get the initiative of this game in my hands and dominate from there. So I am just going to go for the Stone Edge on the off chance he might go for the Volt Switch or the Will-O-Wisp, predicting a switch, which wouldn't be in a bad play, as he does good for that Will-O-Wisp, except he misses, which is nice. Here I am just going to go for the Ice Shard. No, because I don't want to risk the Stone Edge miss. I just wanted to take out that Rotom. Except he switches out. I get a crit on the Reuniclus, which does not matter a single bit because it can cover all that damage and it still did nothing. But yeah, he switched out into his Rotom Washer. I know that thing's going to die to the incoming Stealth Rock, so I'm probably going to use that as Death Fodder later on. Here I'd switch into my Genesect. I go for that U-turn, thinking maybe see min and max damage. And I know he's either going to set up Calm Mind or Recover, most likely Recover. So I do get a chance to switch into the MVP of this battle, my MegaDPAL, my Garchomp. This thing is fucking awesome. And he does go for Recover, which is really nice for me. Well, Calm Mind would have been a lot nicer, but yeah, I know that an Earthquake on this Reuniclus is 2-hit KO from this range, so I am just going to go for it, knowing full well I can take anything he wants to go for. Makes a really bad play, goes into his Genesect, predicting the Dragon Claw, Outrage, something like that. But no, I am just going to go for that Earthquake on the Genesect, and because it was a real bad play, my Garchomp's just going to crit this thing. The crit again did not matter. I get all these useless crits. The reason why it didn't matter because I am Choice Scarf Garchomp, and I would be able to outspeed an Earthquake because it's easy 2-hit KO on that Genesect. Here, he's going to go into his own Garchomp as I'm going to make a series of risky, yet very, very nice plays for me. A Garchomp v Garchomp standoff. Who will win? Here, I know he's the sub Swords Dance set like I've seen before, and a Dragon Claw is obvious, and I am locked into Earthquake, so he's going to predict me to switch into probably the Ferrothorn or something like that to take it. But I'm just going to go for that Earthquake on the Garchomp, predicting that substitute. The reason why is because I know I can get it down to the range where it can only sub up once more after the Earthquake, and I know even if he did go for the Dragon Claw, I know I could definitely live one Dragon Claw and then be able to fire back another Earthquake the turn after that and take it out. But he does go for the substitute after I Earthquaked, and here I'm just going to go for that Earthquake to break the sub, as he actually makes a really stupid bad play as I get a pathetic crit that doesn't matter on the sub. He goes for the Swords Dance, predicting the switch again. It's a really bad play. So like I said, I can take the Dragon Claw, so I have no reason to switch into the Ferrothorn. But that's really nice for me. Here, he's going to switch. I'm just going to go for that Earthquake again. He goes into his Rotom Wash, just as Death Fodder really. Kind of could have used that as better Death Fodder, but that's like whatever. Now he's going to go into the huge ass threat. The Stoutland gets a free switch into it, which is really nice for him. So I'm going to predict it to be the Choice Band set. I'm going to predict the return, go into my Ferrothorn, so I can get off some Iron Bars, recoil damage, and I resist that, and I can take those quite well. So yeah, here I believe I go for the... Oh no, I switch actually, predicting the switch into Reuniclus. So I switch into my Genesect, trying to make that double switch, trying to catch him out. Except for some reason he stays in, goes for a return. I know for a fact he definitely did not predict that, but it does a lot of damage to my Genesect, so I'm just going to switch back out into my Ferrothorn. So we're just swapping in and out here, because I will need my Genesect for later. Looking at his team most likely, is it goes that return again. But the Iron Bars recoil is racking up on this thing, so that's really nice for me. It's a shame it's not going to be buffered from the Sandstorm. For some reason it keeps persisting to spam return, but that's like whatever. I'm just going to go for that Leech Seed, just get a bit more damage on this thing and heal up my Ferrothorn, so I can keep taking those returns and dealing off the Iron Bars recoil damage. So that is going to be looking real nice for me. Here, finally the side switch goes into the Reuniclus as I actually go for Power Whip, trying to take the thing out. And again, I get a critical hit on the Reuniclus. Another critical hit, which didn't matter. The reason why, because after the Power Whip damage, it will be still in the range where my Garchomp can just come in and take it out with the Earthquake, which is what I'm going to switch into now. He predicts that nicely. Goes for that sidekick. I know I can take that well. Go for that Earthquake, destroy the Reuniclus. Take that thing out because it's been a threat all battle, but he gets a free switch into this Stoutland yet again. I'm just going to switch, go back into my Terraform, get a little bit more Iron Ball's recoil damage on this thing. It actually predicts that very nicely. Goes to that superpower, but here, turn 26, I know he's locked himself into superpower. I know that I can get a full 2 hands grip on this battle now and change this in my favour. The reason why is because he's locked into that superpower. I can just easily go into my tentacle, rapid spin away the stealth rocks, which means I can easily switch in Xenexic, Garchomp, Heatran, and my tentacle, as much as I like, with no bother. It actually goes into the Hippowdon. Here, I know that a Earthquake's not going to kill, and obviously I can outspeed a Hippowdon. I'm a tentacle against Hippowdon. Just going to go for that skull, get critical hit again. How many times is this going to happen? Why do I always get critical hits? That do not matter. The reason why this one didn't matter is because there's no way he could set up his stealth rocks and kill me at the same time, because I am faster and I am able to outspeed. I'm just going to go for that skull. If he'd have gone for stealth rocks this turn, I would have rapid spin the next turn. He could have killed me off, and then I could easily just switch into Xenexic Ice Beam for the win. Well, not for the win, but for the kill on this thing. But no, he just decides to take me out with the Earthquake. So I'm going to go into my Garchomp, show him a real Earthquake, destroy his Hippowdon. That's really nice for me. I believe it's down to his last 2 Pokemon, the Stoutland and the Garchomp. I'm just going to switch, go into Xenexic as Death Fodder, as he's just going to go for that return. Take out the Xenexic, which is good for him, I guess, but not too bad for me. Here I'm just going to go into my Heatran, because he's locked himself into return. Even if he locked himself into the superpower, I know that after the -1 attack, I could take that. So I am able to just roll this thing out. That thing's going to die to the incoming Stealth Rocks damage, so that's great for me. He's just going to go into the Garchomp after the roll, because that's his last 2 Pokemon. And I believe he is just going to take me out with his own Earthquake, which is nice for me. Well, not nice for me, but yeah, it means I do get a free switch into my Beast, my own Garchomp, my last Pokemon. It's 2-1 in his favour. Well, it's kind of 1-1, because that thing's just going to die from the incoming Stealth Rocks damage. I'm just going to Outrage on his Garchomp, last Chomp standing. And now his Stoutland will just die to the incoming Stealth Rocks damage. So that's going to be a good game. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Give a like, rate, comment, subscribe. Alright, thanks. Bye.